And we're live tonight, and Howard just stepped on his cord.
I literally just stepped on the cord. AJ, you there?
Yeah, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on? Let me just get my shit combobulated here. Feel free to
Jesus
share
Christ.
this to a bunch of people.
Who the fuck is this?
Who are you talking about?
That is our own, very own Rob Zombie, Jason.
Oh, no way. Remember, Rob Zombie's back. You've been asking for him, dude.
Yeah, I wasn't fucking. I wasn't on that show, man.
You're like, I missed Rob Zombie. Hang tight.
Yeah.
Let's share this with everybody. I'm just refreshing my screen.
Yeah, let me do
And I'm
this
going to
fucking
see what the
thing,
hell
hang on.
we're looking at here.
What's up, John Utz?
There's
I can't get a screen up here.
That's who we got here. Hang on.
I'll do it.
I'll invite.
I can't even see what's going on here, guys. So, good evening, everyone. This is Howard, the unknown drummer, and you're with AJ Slick live in Philadelphia. I happen to be in Tampa Bay, Florida, where it is a balmy 91 degrees and sweltering as usual, which is fantastic. And I love it here. And again, Rob Zombie is joining us. AJ, I have to say, looking at the screen, you look better than ever, dude. A lot of people said that the other way. Yeah, that's perfect right there. AJ, what's in the glass, AJ?
Vodka, man.
Okay, well, let's go to the disclaimer at this point. The opinions of the hosts of the show are our own opinions, and we do not encourage you at all to do what we say. You're responsible for your own actions. This is for comedy purposes only. That's right. And
there you go. You fucking look normal now, dude.
Oh, all right, yeah. Wait, where's my voice? Wait, hold on a sec. My voice. Oh, hey, there we go. All right, we're good now.
Dude, AJ, this guy lives near you. He's fucking great.
I tuned in. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Rock and roll, bro!
How great is that?
The information provided on.
Hold on, disclaimer time, guys. Disclaimer time. This is fun time for me. When she does that, I'll light up. Good evening, everyone. Tampa.
Okay, so the information provided on this podcast is for general information purposes only and entertainment. We do not have professional advice, and it does not constitute professional advice. We are not responsible for damages or losses resulting from the use of or listening to this service. The views and opinions are expressly our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of anybody else or any organization.
Correct. Don't sue me.
Do as you want to do, but when you do what you do, it's on you.
There's a song in there, and I would first of all like to thank our host and engineer of the show, and my beautiful wife and my sounding board, Joanne Duran.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
She's all right. Also, AJ, thanks for giving me your Monday nights. It's really the only night you don't gig. Jason also is in a band. He also he's got a pretty deep resume as well. He was the merch guy for Jeff when I met him, and he's been in bands all around your area too. He's more of a hardcore player, is that correct?
Yeah, metal, hardcore metal, punk,
hardcore,
classic rock, cock rock, horse cock.
It's cock rock.
All things. Hey, what's going on over there?
Cock rock. I like that.
So Rita is coming in, and so is Ralph. So say hi, guys.
Hey, everybody. First of all, I want to thank you, and you're part of the disclaimer, so I need you guys to go, yes, I agree with the disclaimer.
Yes.
Thank you. We now own your mortgage into your house. Please send the checks to us.
And don't do what they do, especially.
Yeah. What was that?
I said, don't do what I say, don't do what I do, and especially don't do what any of you guys do.
Exactly. Well, we have one thing in common here. We all love music. Ralph, actually, I don't know, AJ, if you know Ralph. Ralph was the dude that so hooked me up severely, I could use Guitar Center's name in vain because of this guy. He took such good care of me and made me look so big. It made me really feel proud. And on top of it, he was like your quintessential store manager. He would cut any fucking deal. He just wanted it out the door. I love you, Ralph. I don't see you that often, but thank you for you were always so kind to me.
And by the way, I love you, Ralph. As a wife of a drummer, I love you.
I always walked out with stuff in your store, and I usually paid for it.
Yes, usually, most times.
Good.
So what was it? What was this Guitar Center in Tampa?
No, this was in
I was Philly
Langhorne.
based.
Oh,
Philly,
Langhorne.
Philly Langhorne, yeah.
Yeah, the one I managed was the one in Langhorne, but all
Yeah,
the
I know, I know exactly where it's at. Yeah.
Yeah. So Cherry Hill, Plymouth Meeting.
That had to be at least 12, 14 years ago.
Oh yeah, I got out in 2015.
Ralph, in his own right, is a fantastic guitar player, and his wife is also a musician as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. In fact, can I brag on her for a moment?
Yeah, go ahead. You got to give us some legitimacy here, dude.
Her doctorate is in music education.
Wow.
We don't need no education.
No. She puts up with me. It's
right.
About the logic behind it. She created the online program for the music department at Temple University, and she is currently the president of NAFME, which is the National Association for Music Education. There's 60,000 members. If you are a music teacher in a school, most likely you are a member of NAFME, and she's the current president. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's a relatively small pond in this great big world, but
so Ralph, she's one of the few musicians that I know that have a full-time paying gig.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
I mean, and technically on paper, she can prove it, which is also too. Now, I don't know if you know, AJ is the premier guy in Philadelphia. I mean, 6-7 nights a week.
I've known AJ Smith. I've known your name for an extremely long time, but I don't know if I've been to gigs or any of that kind of thing. But I know you've been on the scene forever.
Yeah,
there was Wanted ad
since the 80s, man. I'm on my way out because I'm getting old now, bro.
Well, time works.
You're not getting old. You're just getting better, dude.
Yeah.
And I mean that.
Thank you, man. I'm beat up, man. Fucking destroyed.
Well, that's a story of life I got from my grandfather and grandmother. Life's great until you get beat up a little bit, and then after that, you're just kind of old and you float back and watch everyone else get beat up. Oh, Jewish grandparents. Okay, so we got through the disclaimer. Thank you. I got a few things that I do during the show, guys. We're going to talk about them right off the bat. Local, where you at this week, AJ?
Wednesday, Pennies. Sorry, I'm fucking out there. Wednesday is Dagwoods. Thursday is solo at Pennies. Friday is full band at Pennies. And then Saturday is Chicky and Pete's, and I got off this fucking Sunday, thank God.
Which Chickies? Is it the one on Roosevelt?
No, they're one in Robbins, man. That's a solo thing there, man.
So AJ does a solo when he does a full band thing, and he covers a lot of the same music, which is unique too. Most guys can't do that. And I know, Ralph, you love the Beatles. AJ loves the Beatles. Joanne is starting to embrace the Beatles a little bit.
Joanne does not like the Beatles.
All right, we'll leave it there, Joanne. You start the conversation.
The Beatles were the greatest thing that ever fucking happened to music, hands down.
You know what's funny? I hate to. I want to interrupt right there. I was watching an interview with Alex Lifeson. Okay. Right. It was a 30-second clip out of the interview. He said, "The Beatles takes me back where nothing else has ever taken me back before." And that was it. He's like, they are the greatest of the greatest in my mind. And that's coming from Alex Lifeson, who I pretty much...
is also one of the greatest of all time.
One of the greatest all the time. And again, people take to certain things. There's certain bands that I don't like, but I appreciate some of their music. But I didn't like them when they came out. It's kind of like, you ever, what's that show? Raymond? I didn't love Raymond when the fucking show came out, but I'll watch it in a rerun now. You know what I mean? I wasn't a big Motley Crue guy when they came out, but they did have some good songs that carried through. But I wasn't so I can see that for the Beatles, but they're the top of the tops.
I think when it comes to the Beatles, I think a lot of people kind of write them off because, oh, it's bubblegum. Oh, it's not very technical. At the time, though, nobody was doing what they did.
Right.
And
at the time,
innovation has its privileges, without a doubt.
There is a reason that they created such a zeitgeist, and it was because nobody did what they did. And in a culture that was so sanitized, and the Brill Building writes your music and they hand it off to you and it's not your music, they were writing their own stuff. They were playing their own instruments. They were being themselves and not taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah, they had fun with it. They had a lot of fun. And you know what? Rob Zombie
hit after
has
hit,
a lot of fun with his music too.
And here's another thing. Take that whatever way. They wrote some of the most fucked up chord progressions in the fucking world that was not supposed to work, and it worked.
They weren't supposed to work together.
It's true. Listen, dude, they were the first band in my whole entire life that ever went from an A major chord to an A minor chord. And then the next time might be an A seventh chord. So like they were fucking geniuses, man. That's, and like I said, if it wasn't for them, I would have never picked up a fucking guitar in my life.
I mean, if it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be a lot of people that wouldn't have picked up anything.
Right.
I mean, without the Beatles,
Perry Como didn't sell many guitars.
Without the Beatles, you wouldn't have a good majority of classic rock and
psychedelic rock.
And every subgenre of rock, really, I think in some way, shape, or form has taken a page or some derivative and some inspiration from the Beatles, whether that was musically or in, the personality or, in just being experimental. Because
this goes into our next segment.
Yeah, but listen, you know what? It's even cooler, man. Like
experimental was really cool.
Listen, I was born in '68, so I didn't see when they came to Ed Sullivan show. But when I see clips of that, like the stardom that they fucking have is ungodly. Listen, I play guitar, and Ralph, they're all right guitars, but I had to get one. I got a Rickenbacker 350, a full size, a John Lennon looking one, and I got a Gretsch Country Gentleman like Harrison. Because listen, as a kid, all I remember in my head, I had no money. I was like, I got to get me a Rickenbacker. I got to get me a fucking Rickenbacker. And then I'll never forget it. It was like 1980. I had a paper route, and I saw Tom Petty on the Dinah Shore show. And he was coming out with Damn Them Torpedoes, and he was using that Rickenbacker, and that turned me on to Tom Petty because I was like, damn, this guy's fucking great, and he's got a Rickenbacker.
And he's played a Rick. Yeah.
Dude,
he played a Rick. Paul McCartney played a Rick,
Lemmy played a Rick.
Yeah.
There you go.
Even Tom Petty ultimately worked with George Harrison when you get into the Traveling Wilburys. And so there's all these crossover things. I love studying music history. And so I love drawing those direct correlations of you would not have this subsection or this artist without them taking inspiration from this and without them taking it all connects.
You want to hear my cute Beatles story?
Yes, go ahead.
Sure, why not? And then after that, we'll move on from the Beatles.
Okay. So I'm relatively old. I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. I said, I want to do that because they were having so much fun. Part of my memory of it was fun. And girls were screaming. Now, at that point, I'm 7 years old, so I can't really make the connection as far as...
He had minor wood.
We had... yeah. So, but here's the cute thing. This is the funny thing about this story. So I told my mom and dad I wanted to play an instrument. They took me to the local music teacher, which was in Totowa, New Jersey, which was the next town over from Paterson, New Jersey, where I was born. And the teacher was an old Italian guy who literally played for the King of Italy. So he told my mom and dad that the Beatles, they smelled bad. Wait, it gets even better. This is the best part. He somehow or another took the Cavern story, like you all know about the Cavern Club.
Right, yeah.
Right, and turned it into They Live in a Cave. He then told them that mandolin was going to be the next big thing. So
happened to own a mandolin company.
Yeah, right. Well, here's the thing. He had a band. And yes. Too loud?
Too loud?
All right.
Turn it up to 11.
So, my wife's on a conference call doing her NAFME thing. So she's teaching right now. Actually, anyway, so back to the mandolin thing. So they convinced my parents that mandolin should be my first instrument.
God.
So it wasn't until many years later that I started to play rock and roll. And at that point, I was a big Cream and Hendrix fan, but
Right on.
But literally starting out, I started
killing the
out
Battle of
close to the
Evermore,
Beatles.
dude.
Pardon me?
Killing the Battle of Evermore.
Yeah, I've done that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, I might even have a video on that on YouTube. I got a YouTube channel. But the Beatles thing, the thing to remember about it is they literally changed the industry. They sold so many records. The point that you made about being self-sufficient and actually writing their own songs, that was really, really significant.
Yeah, it was very crucial. And honestly, I mean, I go back to, I mean, again, as I said, so many artists take a page from the Beatles, but one of my favorite interviews was Billy Joel talking about why he does what he does. And he says, I can tell you exactly why. And it's because I watched the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Yep.
And I mean, Billy Joel being a legend in his own right and creating that sound and that stuff, you know, of soft rock in the 70s, like all of that, it all goes back. And then if you want to go even further, you would not have the Beatles without Buddy Holly, but that's an entire thesis in itself.
By the way, everybody, this is Raina. She is our historian of the show and also will be our Nashville correspondent.
Yeah.
Nice.
Youngest
You're from Nashville. Nice.
So you mentioned the Billy Joel connection. At one point, and I forget, it was actually an anniversary of the Sullivan Show. And a buddy of mine who writes for newspapers interviewed me and Billy Joel, among other people.
Wow.
And in the article, he referenced me and Billy Joel as seeing
in the same.
Ed Sullivan. Yeah, exactly.
That's epic.
There you go.
Me and Billy. You know,
I actually.
we
I
both,
say,
So
I
Billy
actually
and I have
showed-
been, hanging out together. We just happened to be interviewed, you know.
yeah, exactly.
I showed a Beatles song to one of my good friends for the first time the other day. Like he's heard the Beatles before, but he hadn't heard that specific song. I showed him Norwegian Wood, and I think it's the single best notification I've ever gotten in my life. But I get a text message going, "Hold on, did he set the place on fire? Is that the end of the song?"
Right,
and I went, "Damn right it is."
Yeah. You didn't realize it at the time, that's for sure. Hey, if you want to, there's a Billy Joel connection too. Do you know the song "Scenes from an Italian Restaurant"?
Oh, of course.
Yep.
And
Okay.
that's inspired by Golden Slumbers.
That's what I was just about to mention.
I
to
have
you.
listened
I
to
told you this
that.
kid's got us.
Good job. Good job.
So check it out.
I've
Joanna
listened
and I.
to that.
All right.
I think that was his tour when he was doing interviews and Q&As at colleges. And I have like that whole box set where he talks about that, and he talks about Lullaby and the Gregorian chanting, and he talks about the Beatles, We Didn't Start the Fire, everything like that. So yeah, I have studied the Billy Joel lore.
Yeah, Billy actually is one of the great thieves. He had no hesitation to say, "I'm going to write a Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons tune. I'm
going to rip you off."
Well,
I'm literally not going to steal. Digitally copy
this
you,
reminded me,
use you,
like-
but I'm going to use you such as an influence. You're not even going to know it's your
Listen,
song. It's pretty
when
much-
Billy Joel gets that growl in his voice, that totally reminds me of Paul McCartney, like when Paul would get all his growls. But he always gives Paul McCartney the credit for it, man. Did you ever see the thing where he's talking about, it's great, it's fucking great, Billy Joel, he's talking about Cream, Sunshine of Your Love, and he goes, I played the fucking piano, and he goes, and he plays it, he goes, it was never cool on the piano, he was like, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Ding. And
Well, he says the same thing about We Didn't Start the Fire, where he's like, that's a guitar song. Like, you can't, if you play, it's like, it's almost like ragtime. And he,
Yeah,
like,
but
he starts
I'll
playing,
tell
it's
you
very
what, man.
dinky.
he's a fucking, like, as a kid I wasn't into it, but as I got older, you got to respect him because he's an incredible songwriter.
He's a beast.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his
Incredible,
lyrics,
dude.
I think, are so
Incredible,
so
man.
profound.
On a Howard note, I have to go there.
Don't bring Rush into
He
this.
even
Shut the fuck
proved
up
the
Don't
about
bring
fact
Rush
that it
into
doesn't
it.
matter how beautiful you are. Get out of my house.
Right.
I mean,
Yo,
he
I'm so
literally
fucking
married
confused
Christy
right now.
Brinkley.
Oh, yeah.
America's,
Had to be a big shot, did ya?
and even he said, you know what? I don't care how beautiful or how much money you make. Get out of my house.
You uptown girl, you.
Pretty
and that
much.
song was actually going to be written. It was supposed to be Uptown Girls, written about multiple, but like,
oh boy.
it was. I just heard this story the other day. I believe it was like Whitney Houston, and it was more than. It was not just Christy Brinkley, but people just associate it because that was the Christy Brinkley era.
And
But-
she was in the video too, which was
right.
really
Well,
the
and that
major
was sort
thing.
of why everybody was like, "Oh, Uptown." It ultimately became solely about her, as did a number of stuff on the album. But originally, it was not just Christy Brinkley.
How about that?
Well, this week, Joanne and I got to see 3 shows.
Nice.
What a
in-
great concert
in a
week.
in a I think 8-day span.
6
days.
Started on a Saturday, ended
We
on a Friday.
Yeah, check this out. So we checked out this band called Lanoid and Friends, and they are considered the Russian Chicago. They're a 13-piece band. They were terrific, but you can generally tell that they learned the music without ever seeing the band ever. The mechanics of the band. They made the music happen, which was great. And they were really good, and without a doubt, amazing. But it had a little, and I kept saying this to Joanne, it had a kind of a variety show to it, like you were watching it on, I don't know, RFTV, RTTV. It was, it had
It didn't quite have the feel or the soul of actual Chicago, because we did get to see Chicago this year.
Yeah. And even though that there were only 3 original members and this and that, and that's where we met Raina, and that's why I brought that up too. There was such an energy in that room.
Oh,
and with these guys, they played the music and it was really good. Just didn't have that energy, I thought. But they were really good. But they did put out 2 Beatles songs that night. And so for a Chicago cover band to do Beatles, that really made a dent into them. So then we had the true pleasure and honor to have phenomenal seats to go see the one and only Rick Wakeman.
And I have to tell you, that was a surprisingly amazing show for someone who's not quite the yacht rock person like Howard.
It was an evening with Rick Wakeman. It was a one-man show. He had a grand piano.
And dude, Ralph, that's exactly what he does, dude.
And he's a funny guy. Oh,
and he had 2 keyboards, and he walked back and forth to
he had
them.
A double keyboard.
Double
and
keyboard.
He had a classic
As
piano.
I said, a grand piano. And in between knocking out songs, he had some magnificent stories. And he's the kind of guy that you would love to be your neighbor.
That's sort of how those Billy Joel Q&As went, where he would have the piano and he would play it in between answering the questions and talking.
The material he covered was absolutely phenomenal. He first started off with
we got someone
6
walking
Wives.
in the room.
Yeah,
6 Wives.
My daughter came in. 6 Wives of Henry VIII, which was magnificent. And then he went over, did a little bit more Alan Parsons. I mean, I'm not Alan Parsons, a little bit more of his material. Then he walked over to piano and he did some Yes material. He calls it Yes Sonata, which is 31 pieces of Yes condensed into like about 8 minutes, 12 minutes. It was magnificent.
Wow.
Then he went back and, he was talking about Bowie and he finally got to meet his 4th Beatle. He met Paul McCartney recently. And he pretty much told it like this. I know Ringo for years. I used his studio many times until his dog started biting me. I went to lunch with John Lennon 3 weeks before he was killed, unfortunately, with him and Yoko. They saw that I was in town, invited me over. George Harrison and I were at Cannes at a film festival. We were writing music on the beach for days. I bumped into Paul McCartney at a party about 3-4 months ago. And all he pretty much said to me is, I didn't realize that you were this tall. That was the extent of his conversation with him. And they got along just great.
Wow.
He got to meet all 4 Beatles in his lifetime.
And so that's
But we were talking about the Beatles before, and that was Rick Wakeman. And he was awed by being able to know all the 4 Beatles.
Right. Doubling back
and then
the Beatles were to everyone else.
Yeah. And then we got to see the incomparable Jeff Tate.
My dad was at that show, actually.
Hold on. What did your dad say about that show? Not you and me. What did your dad say about that show?
He said that he loved it. My dad and I both agree Operation Mindcrime is maybe not his, but it is my favorite concert
Rock
album
opera.
of all time.
Oh, Concept. Yeah.
And that beats 2112, which is saying something
Not for
for
me.
me.
Not for me though, but I get it. You're more your generation
He
than mine.
said that he had that even though he is older and does not hit all of those same notes, his vocal control was spot on, and that he said, I was just thoroughly impressed. The only thing that he said was a minor disappointment for him, and this is coming from my dad who did get to see Live Crime, that tour.
So did I.
Was that there were no video screens to show those dialogue interludes like in Live Crime, which is something that he would have wanted because that was part of what made Live Crime so special. So he said that like he would have loved, like he said, you still heard the dialogue, you hear
without
the
a doubt, crystal clear. Unfortunately, because of the size venues that they're playing, they're playing mid-sized places.
Right.
They usually don't support the video lighting systems. Also, going from Europe back and forth, it's very difficult for those guys because
that's not really the reason.
Why they don't have.
It has something to do with the lawsuit. So you have to go back to.
Well, there's also that too. He may not be able to use those animations.
Some of the stuff that they divided out with the judge when Jeff won his lawsuit against the other boys. He has certain things like Mindcrime is his. It is totally his whole thing. But, and the upside is that he's going to start releasing Mindcrime 3 this year. Hopefully in May. He's not promising in May. He said, I was going to say May 19th, but if I say May 19th and it doesn't happen, then everybody gets mad at me. So he's like, fair. I'm not saying, but but I can't wait because I've actually been honored to see and hear some of it. So I know what it's going to come out like. So
were you there at that studio in Germany? Did you go to the studio?
I was in the studio in Germany and I'm actually on part of one of the songs. Yes.
Did you hear Clodagh sing?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
goodness.
Gosh.
And then I was also in Italy with them when they were doing it. And I went to Montana and did the video with them. So yes.
What's interesting about
then
cool.
So I would say that the show was absolutely terrific. I saw Queensryche and I wasn't a monster Queensryche fan. They for me, they weren't the opener. They played so many gigs in the 80s as a sub headliner, which was fine, but they were doing Def Leppard, they were opening up for Whitesnake, they were opening
Bon Jovi, all of them.
Bon Jovi, all of them.
Kiss.
All of them. So you had to see if you saw Kiss, you had to see Queensryche or you weren't going to see the show. They were different. If you didn't get to your seats, you were done. There was no like, hey, I sit there. The guy would be like, hey, I'm sitting here and go find another seat. So over the multiple concerts, I you attach yourself to certain songs and then you find your way in this road of life, and you connect with people who like that band and you learn more about them. And absolutely. I got to tell you, the other night they blew the house off. They got 3 of the baddest lead guitarists that I've ever seen work together.
So you're hanging out with them on a night
guitars, but each one of these guys could do all the parts themselves. While they're playing.
Dario, Omri, and James.
You're hanging out with those guys on a nightly basis. I tell you what, it's fun.
And are these original members? Because that band's been around for a while, right?
Right.
Yeah, they've been. Yeah,
he started out in the early '80s.
Right. So all original members.
Oh, not they split up.
Jeff Tate's Mindcrime. The actual band that calls themselves Queensryche, there's only one guitarist left in that band. Everybody else.
Michael Wilton.
Yeah, they're a cover band of themselves.
That's all that's left in Queensryche. Yeah, like Scott Rockefeller tried to form a third Queensryche. It was like, what's he doing? What's that guy doing over there?
And the drummer took off too, so.
Yeah, he got a little loopy.
Got a little so.
Sadly, I've not
me and Ralph were like, who gives a fuck about this?
Yeah, and seeing.
All right, let's move along, Joe.
What do you mean? Who gives a what? Okay, old guy.
All right.
What do you mean you don't care about this?
But let me just also too. We also had the pleasure to book. We also had the pleasure to book June 6th.
We went from the Beatles to Queensryche. That's like falling off a fucking cliff.
Well, oh my God! Don't do that.
No,
I mean, totally no.
We're gonna go vocal prowess here now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No,
order in the court, please. Order in the court.
AJ, you and I can fight it out for a year, but let's.
I would say I will also fight.
They can play the Tower Theater all they want,
dude. Vocal ability versus. Come on.
All right, let's
Queensryche
move along.
is-
So
Listen, Rob
let's
Zombie,
move
get
along,
a
please.
fuck
Thank
over there.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Battle.
This is some great news though, because Joanne and
Put
I
the
got
mask
to
back
book.
on.
Yeah, we need Rob. What would Rob Zombie say? So,
I don't think he
Right on
cares
that.
either.
Right, exactly.
all right, we actually are going to see James Keegan in Ireland, his acoustic show.
Are
on
you?
June 6th. We're actually going to see. Oh yeah, how great is that, huh?
What a talent that young
So
fella
we're
is,
gonna go
man.
see him.
Do you know what? He's a
21
real,
years old. This
he's a real
guy's
nice young kid
unbelievable.
too, man. Real nice.
Yeah.
Young kid.
Yep, we're flying in a day early just so we get to see him.
Yeah, we're making the time, and then not just that. Ralph, you have to check out this kid's music. You will be like, oh my god, you'll start tearing up.
And his name
I'll
once
send you
again?
the link. James Keegan.
Yeah, he's
Howard
something else,
Facebook's
man.
his friend.
Yeah, I'll send you the link after the show. Unbelievable. And if
Mm.
Joanne wants to put him up, he is beyond soulful.
Very. For his age too.
yeah.
He's young. He's a youngster,
dude.
man.
So genre?
like
Genre
Irish.
would be Irish folk.
Yep. I
with-
would say
with
that.
a touch of rebellious rock when he wants to.
Sure.
So like
Right.
Celtic rock.
You should have
You know
seen his face. You should have seen his face that one night we were talking about the history of Jeff Tate because he had no idea. And I told him, like, yeah, he's opened up Metallica. He's opened up for, and his face lit up like, oh, he got super excited. It was in Germany when we were all out there, you know.
Right.
Dude, it was
Boy,
funny.
He didn't realize what was up.
Yeah, I wasn't
This
on
kid
that.
had no
show.
idea what shit he stepped into.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't on that show, and because I was sick that night, man.
I
Uh,
remember.
My friends write me, dude, get the fuck on. Rob Zombie's on. He's on, dude.
How
Yeah.
great is that?
Dude, my friend Tom Hall would have fucked you, dude. He's like, Rob Zombie's on. Get the fuck on, dude.
Oh, that's great. That's
I had
fun.
like 103 fucking fever. I'm like, dude, I ain't doing shit, dude.
I can't come on tonight, bro.
Hey, I'm going to have to come out
Take a
to you and
break.
see at one of your gigs, man. We had a little meet up, and like I'll have to come out and meet you in person since we're so
Where-
close.
Where do you live at, man?
You should go see AJ.
I'm in
man.
York
You should
County.
play.
I'm in York County, which is an hour, 2 hours max, depending on traffic. You know.
Dude, I'll let you know when we're playing a bigger venue and you come up, brother.
Yeah.
If you want. You want to fucking sing, whatever you want to fucking do.
All right, man. It'd be cool to meet you, hang out in person. Yeah, you're close.
I like to drink, motherfucker.
Yeah. And you said you were from Nashville. Are you in Nashville?
I'm not yet. I move next week.
Oh yeah, I'm originally from there. I was pretty excited.
Okay, yeah. I literally move like less than 10 days from now.
Oh, I think.
No, no,
Have
no,
you been
back
there
up.
before?
I have. I was there
Okay.
early in March to find a place to live. I've been planning to move there for over a year.
Amazing. Okay.
I love it out there.
Yeah.
I got to do photograph a couple of gigs while I was there for the 10 days. A lot of my friends live out there. And
Sweet.
there's so many great.
Tell everybody what you do, Raina.
I'm a concert photographer, but I'm a writer. I'm a roadie. I sling merch. I basically do everything but play in a band.
High five.
Yeah, right.
So,
High five.
but yeah,
Different
there's
aspects of the industry, and
so much out there in Nashville, and like I was talking to somebody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Rachel Bolan was in here the other night," and I'm like, well, "You say that casually." So like, if
My-
I
my,
said that,
Yeah, my niece. She works as I forget what the place she works at. She was a waitress and she served Vince Neil easily, just like that.
I would say,
'Cause he lives in Nashville now, apparently.
oh cool. I would say, I
Yeah.
I will
know.
say that his first original album by himself is a masterpiece. It is
Oh.
such a great record.
Exposed.
Holy cow!
Yeah, that's cool. I like that record.
I would say I know that. I mean, like a lot of really like seasoned veteran musicians that I love live in Nashville, and so I kind of I have this. I think unique.
It seems like a rock and roll
It is.
retirement
I
area.
tell people that Nashville now is sort of what the Sunset Strip was in the 80s.
Yeesh.
It really is. And because you've got the seasoned pros, the Rachel Bolans and Billy Sheehan, who is a god.
Really? Really?
I love
Yes.
Billy Sheehan.
Me
You've
too.
You've got like all of Ace Frehley's band, his touring band lives out there, and they play
He keeps
around.
teasing that he's going to come on the podcast with us.
Who?
Oh,
I told you, Billy Sheehan.
Oh, yeah, I love Mr. Sheehan. He's been He's such a great
I bumped
person.
into him, and when he was at the Capitol, we were walking across the street, and I look over to Joe, and I said, "You see that dude?" And he's like, I don't know, 7'9", and he's like fucking, looks gothic as shit, but not makeup wise. He just looks like the part. And I said, "That's Billy." And
I love.
and I'm like, "You want to say hi to him?" I said, "No, he's just like walking away, and he tipped his hat to me."
I'm a huge Mr. Big fan. I literally have Mr. Big stuff on every single wall of my room.
Nice.
I am an obsessive.
Remember when you did that, Ralph, with the Bay City Rollers?
With the what now?
Remember your Bay City Roller posters when I first met you? They're all over the room, and Peter Frampton, and she's like that with him.
I mean, I have all sorts of bands. I also have Bowie on every wall of my room.
Rick Wakeman was talking about his relationship with Bowie. His relationship with Bowie was very good. They worked on a lot of songs together, and two of the actual songs that Rick Wakeman did were Bowie songs.
Nice. They were phenomenal. I love Bowie.
Going back to Mr. Big, I met Eric Martin through Jeff Tate. So I have an extra poster signed by all four. I can send it to you if you want one.
Oh my God. So here, let me see if I can.
Unless you have one.
Let me see if I can move this because I have like a shrine.
Oh, nice.
Mr. Big.
Wow.
This is actually Eric's poster.
Nice.
Eric's poster from the 90s. It's an official Buck the Head. It's signed by him.
Oh, cool.
I've met Eric multiple times. I met him first at Rock Island Fest in Key West.
Excellent.
And the first time I met him, I shook his hand, and I'm always very professional because obviously I have to be and I want to be. So I'm like, "Mr. Martin, it's an honor to meet you." He shakes my hand, he kisses my hand, then he grabs me by the shoulders and yanks me nose to nose, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm being manhandled by a rock star." What the fuck?
But nice guy.
He was like, "You're a kid. What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Here's my photo pass." He goes, "Oh, I see, Mr. Tough Guy." And
yeah, there it is, Mr. Tough Guy.
Mr. Tough Guy. He rolled down the window of his van that night to stick his head out and throw his fists at me, and I ended up having a rough go at that festival.
Dude,
and
I should call him up. I have his phone number. I should call him up right now. It'd be hilarious, but I don't want to bother him.
If he saw me, he'd be like, "Hi, Raina."
Man, he's good at that. He's good at
that. Where I love one of my favorite drummers is Joey Casada, who's played with Eric before, and I've worked with him at a bunch of Kiss event stuff. And one time, Joey was like, "Here, I'll call Eric," and he calls Eric, and Eric's like, "Joey, what do you want?" And then he turns the camera to me, and Eric just goes, "Oh, hi, Raina."
Amazing.
I was melting on the ground because
excellent.
So you touched on a subject that I was talking to Jason earlier as far as collecting. All of us are all musicians or love or either adore musicians or music. We all love music, but we also collect things too.
A lot of stuff. My God.
I mean, you can kind of.
What do you collect, AJ? Other than tops of vodka bottles?
What do I collect?
Guitars.
Not even guitars. No, I don't know. Fuck yeah, who fucking knows?
Okay, I
you collect picks?
A whole lot. I've just accumulated a lot of this Mr. Big stuff through the sheer amount of times that I've worked with and seen them, and
amazing.
All of that. Like my mom, one of the first times I went to Nashville, Eric Martin was at Rockin' Pod Expo, and I told my mom, I was like, "I'm driving to Nashville. You can come with me if you want, but I'm driving to Nashville for Eric Martin."
Yeah.
And so she drives up with me, and then she comes back after one of the shows with my jacket, cradling something. And I'm like, "Please tell me you did not buy his shoe." Because Eric Martin sells his stage-worn clothes, and he signs them. And I'm like, "Mom, tell me you did not buy Eric Martin.
It's his baby."
Shoe. And I have Eric Martin's left shoe on my dresser.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I have a picture. I handed it to him. I was like,
amazing.
All right, you can clobber me with it. So I have a picture of me leaning back and him raising the shoe to beat the shit out of me with it.
I'll give you 50 cents for it.
That's one hell of an amazing mom to go buy you a shoe.
I have a drumhead sign.
It is one of the most odd and yet amazing gifts I think I've ever received, because I don't know what to do with it other than just
Display
stick
it.
right, display it, and then
All right. So
inevitably somebody goes, "Why do you have like a men's shoe on display on the dresser?" And I'm like, "Oh, funny story.
Tough guy, eh?
Yeah.
Listen,
Oh, well, I see Mr. Tough Kid, Mr. Tough Guy.
I'm
He's-
just amazed that you know the singer's name of that fucking band.
I
That's
know
all I'm
it
gonna fucking
too.
say.
What, Eric
He's a good
Martin?
singer.
I think
I-
I'm friends
so-
with him on Facebook.
Oh man, a lot of blues rock in there, and like,
the
I think-
fuck up with
Yes,
the
yes,
blues
yes. And
rock,
I
my ass.
love blues rock.
what?
And
I can tell you
honestly-
listen to none albums, none
all
of
right.
them.
So
when you,
They're good
I have
band, AJ.
all of
They actually-
honestly, when you listen to
Of all
Eric
of
Martin's
them.
voice,
You
and
motherfuckers.
this is just a little fun fact. Eric Martin was actually considered to replace David Lee Roth for Van Halen. He was going to audition.
probably with a better job.
Sammy
Not a
Hagar.
chance.
Probably
Listen,
Sammy sucked.
I love the Van Hagar.
That's a
era,
whole
but
nother story.
if
That's
you
a whole nother show, Raina.
That would have been a
Sammy
whole
sucked.
different animal. I don't know if we could do David Lee Roth
I'm
moves.
just saying,
So-
if you listen to Eric Martin's voice, especially in certain Mr. Big songs,
Right.
you can hear how comparable.
Listen,
You can hear the
David Lee
comparable
Roth was
things.
not a great singer, but he was probably one of the greatest motherfucking frontman that
Front
ever
guys
fucking
ever.
lived in rock and roll.
Agreed.
Oh, greatest frontman ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Dude, listen. Yo,
So-
Made the
Rob,
sound of the band.
Ralph,
him and
come on,
Al-
Ralph,
him
you
and
like,
Alex.
you like Van Halen,
Him and
right?
Eddie.
I like Van Halen. I didn't, at that point, I had kind of moved on a little bit. But you're going to appreciate this because I also heard blues rock, and I'm a sucker for ephemera. So I am
Right.
currently in the bathroom of my little home studio. So
Collector.
here is my signed Cream Volume 2, signed by
Sick.
all three.
Nice.
Dude, that,
No.
listen,
Wait,
Ralph,
Wait,
that
here's
kicks
where it gets
ass.
good.
Ralph, where do you live?
Where do you live?
Currently- I
So,
currently
Ralph,
live in
listen.
Louisiana.
Nice.
Ralph, I want to tell you so. About 10 years ago, I don't know what it was, 10, 11 years ago. Long story short, I do a lot of Hendrix, so I went out to Nashville to play with Billy Cox.
Oh,
Because he
played
lives
with
out.
Billy.
He found me on YouTube and flew me out to Nashville to play with him. So he hired me, and his wife's a real fucking bitch, and his wife fired me. But
Oh,
That's-
no.
that's
Oh.
my thing. Like, I'm really into fucking Hendrix. I love Clapton. Like, that's
Sure.
my guitar gods. Jimmy Page.
All right,
That's
so
Jimmy
you see all
Page.
the stuff behind me?
Yeah.
The only one that's not an authentic autograph is Jerry. So
Wow.
everybody
Garcia?
else, Pete Townsend,
Wow.
John McLaughlin.
Yo, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I have a Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Wow.
Jimmy
Chuck
Page
Berry.
is
Dude.
I
very
told
hard
you I
to
met
come
Stevie
by.
Ray Vaughan, didn't I, AJ?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
listen,
nice guy.
You
Ralph.
see
So
Chuck Berry there?
1983, Ralph.
Yes.
I get this free ticket of this guy named Stevie Ray Vaughan. We don't even know who the fuck he is.
Wow.
So we get a free ticket at the Tower Theater. And me and my friend go, I think I was 14 at the time, 14 or 15. And I go in, and true story, he plugs in his guitar, and it's so fucking loud, my ears hurt. I go to my friend, we're out of here in 5 minutes. Dude, he played for 2.5 hours. We did not fucking talk. Dude,
Didn't
he got
budge.
done. Listen, he got done. It was like an alien landing. That dude
So-
was
Yeah.
was beyond fucking ridiculous, incredible. One of the greatest to ever live.
If you like Stevie Ray Vaughan, if you like blues rock, this is kind of a shameless plug for one of my closest friends. He's like an older brother. One of the best, I think, up and coming blues rock undergrounds. I've toured with them. They're called Shaw Davis and the Black Ties. They're a 3-piece, and everybody who sees them goes, "Oh my god!" He used to look like Stevie Ray in a little bit. He used to have like the hat and the long hair. But
Right. Do you say black tie?
black ties, like the railroad type thing.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
part of
I
this
thought at
disclaimer
first
too,
it was
guys.
like
Okay.
black ties. I put it in the chat.
Black.
They
Okay.
got
Some ZZ
they
Top.
got 3 albums out. They
Sharp Dressed Man.
actually have been leaning. They're moving more toward the hard rock, like still blues rock, but harder rock. Because I think they were at first started more classic blues, but they have an amazing cover. It's one of my favorites that they do. They have like a blues rock cover of Willie the Pimp by Frank Zappa.
Nice.
It goes so hard. I love it. They do a really cool cover of Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny
Ralph,
Cash.
Here's another thing.
Um,
Ralph, you're a big Stevie Ray Vaughan fan?
Fairly big, yeah.
Listen, there's a guy out in Texas that I'm friends with. His name is Tommy Cantone. I can't say it, Charlie. Dude, this motherfucker is a young kid, and he does a Stevie Ray Vaughan tribute. I'm telling you, dude, look him up on Facebook or YouTube. I swear to fucking God, dude. Not only does his guitar playing's right on the fucking money, his voice, it's scary as shit.
That's what I'm saying about Shaw Davis. Genuinely, I've brought like
listen
my
what they listen to growing up in their dad's cars and their minivans. Listen rather than the crap they're listening to now. Every kid can rap a yogurt commercial.
My dad was the one who introduced me to Shaw Davis. I then ended up touring with them and everything. I've brought friends to see them. I've brought the rest of my family friends, every single person. Like you said about seeing Stevie Ray, where you just don't talk and you're mesmerized. Right. Every single person I have brought to see Shaw Davis has just.
We got some people here on chat saying AJ does Stevie Ray justice. Look at that.
Nice.
Listen,
that's nice.
Howard, I traveled for like 25 years doing that.
Yeah.
But at the same point, you know, playing classic rock and whatever I got to fucking play now, I make more money playing locally than when I traveled all over the fucking country. It's crazy.
Isn't that something else? Isn't that something, man? It's wild.
Yeah.
You know, I never toured, but I wound up having
like summer camp on wheels.
By the way, Teo says hi.
Well,
wait, Ralph, you cut out. What was that?
I said I never toured, but I wound up playing some really nice gigs. But interestingly enough, the nicer the venue and the bigger the gig, it seemed like the less you got paid.
And here's another thing: like I noticed, Ralph, the bigger the venue, the better it is. The more of the fucking headache it became.
Right.
I don't know about that, AJ. I paid you pretty well in a nice place. With that being said, we're gonna go on to music news.
Wait up, that was a toilet paper convention.
Fuck yeah, dude! Shit wiped up. All right, so here's the music news. Blondie's drummer, rest in peace.
Oh,
yeah,
he was quick too, quick and solid for the 70s.
Yeah, that's
so solid.
Rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace, for real. And as we get older, we're going to be saying this about some of our heroes, and it's going to suck.
A lot of happened.
Already have.
Yeah.
Here we go. Roberta Flack.
For me.
Yeah, but Howard, listen.
Roberta Flack. She's been sampled.
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, he just.
Hold on. Let's give it to Roberta Flack.
I totally forgot for a while, and then I went and listened to Roberta Flack again. She actually, my favorite thing she ever did was with a very young Michael Jackson in Free to Be You and Me. They have a song in Free to Be You and Me called, it's like, We Don't Have to Change It All. And it's one of the sweetest songs. Free to Be You and Me is like a formative piece of media, for one.
You know, you are so necessary to the show to make us legit. You're like the stats girl.
I'm impressed because like a lot of young people, a lot of young people don't deep dive.
I grew up watching. I have really cool.
How old?
But
he's making 16. Me fucking drink.
I grew up. I watched, and I honestly, I think Free to Be You and Me should be required for young children, just generally. But
I'd be good with that.
When I thought about
that's amazing.
Sort of a totally
Dennis
forgotten.
the Menace.
Well, but before we go to Jay North, I want to touch on Roberta Flack just a little bit.
Good.
Too. If you remember the song, do you remember the song "First Time Ever I Saw Your Face"?
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, when that hit the radio, when you think about the arrangement, because it's basically her and a piano.
Yeah.
It is the slowest tempo I think I had ever heard on radio before.
On AM rock radio.
Pardon me?
On AM contemporary radio.
Yeah, well, this is AM. This was AM radio when it hit.
Yeah, AM contemporary radio.
Right. Well, I mean, but here's the thing: if you go back and listen to it and think about what else was on the radio at the time, it's stunning how different it is. And
absolutely, I remember that
is incredible. But from a historical perspective, go back and listen to it and think about what was happening at the time, because this is somewhere. I'm thinking maybe 72, 73-ish.
1969.
So, First Time Ever I Saw Your Face was on, and then it would be followed by Roundabout.
Yeah, right.
So it's just truly a remarkable piece of music. So, and
what year was that, Ralph?
It was early
70s. Early 70s.
Honestly, it was 1969.
Yeah, but it takes a little time.
I Googled it.
Yeah.
Time for it to
Well,
airplay.
when First Time First came out.
That's what they said.
No, it was early 70s.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for next news, I predicted it. AJ, everybody, AC/DC is having very, very low ticket sales. They are also dodging major markets. They are not having much success in the U.S. on this tour.
Well, listen, Howard, I saw your thing. AC/DC you put was overrated.
I do think so.
Oh, I
Dude,
saw
they're
that
fucking
too.
great. They are
They
fucking.
got the best career ever.
Listen,
Wise, but you know, I'm
listen.
being a douche. I know it, but I mean, there's so many other bands that are so much better musically that should
Well,
have
they'll
been
never have
freaking-
that career like they did.
Right, listen.
Well, whether or not I'm not talking about
I
career,
say,
but I just
it
think
is
they're
pretty
overrated.
impressive to have
Listen,
a full career over the span of
Angus
decades.
Young wrote one
And
time-
not really change much, you know?
Exactly, literally.
This is the Hate Howard's
It's
Opinion
like
Club.
ZZ
Jeez.
Top. ZZ Top kind of sounds the same, but it rocks
Rob, what do you
every
say?
single time.
Right.
Howard, listen.
You been thunderstruck.
They interviewed.
They've got some great stuff. Don't get me wrong, but everyone like bows down to
I would say
AC/DC, and it's like,
I've had
holy
Heat
cow.
Seeker on repeat lately, so I can't really say much because I think my top song on Spotify currently is Heat Seeker by AC/DC.
Have a drink on me, man. Come
That's a
on.
great
Great.
one.
You know, honestly,
mean-
I thought
Come on.
They're here in May.
I didn't say they sucked. I just think they're overrated.
You want to drink some whiskey with me, buddy?
Howard,
Honestly,
you're nuts.
I'm not
You're
gonna lie.
nuts.
I don't
Nuts.
even think I knew that AC/DC was on tour currently, which is
Yeah, me either.
kind
Wow.
of crazy considering
Thanks
I
for that.
generally keep up with
Right.
music news.
Listen,
Maybe I'll get a
Ralph-
chance to see him this time.
Let Ralph speak. Speak,
They're
Ralph.
not.
Sure,
let me
sure,
tell you
sorry.
this, they're
the
not-
point,
they're
the
not
point
in a
I was
whole
going
lot
to
of
make
places.
about them and why AC/DC was,
Go ahead, Ralph.
at least in my mind, is everybody who's first starting out to play, you're going to be kind of limited in what you're able to do. So AC/DC, I think, was the entryway for a lot of people that age.
The entryway to Highway to Hell.
Who started to play
Stopped it.
guitar.
It stopped everyone from playing Smoke on the Water on guitar, and they started playing AC/DC on guitar.
Hey!
Interesting you should say that, because when I first started out, you know, the easy stuff that you could get to when you were first starting to play would be like the early Neil Young and Crazy Horse stuff, like Cinnamon Girl or Down by the River, or those things. My very first bands, and I remember specifically the songs we used to play, and we're talking about 1971, 1972 when I first started. So it was the young people's music who wanted to learn how to play. And AC/DC always struck me as a band that would satisfy that kind of heavy rock thing, but wasn't so sophisticated that you couldn't do it.
Right.
Right,
It's
but
accessible.
another thing though, like Angus Young is one of them guys, like a Billy Gibbons, that can make three notes better.
Dude.
Than
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
His tone
Like-
was great.
Yeah,
They-
you're right. I changed my mind, guys.
Yeah.
You better change your mind, brah.
I will,
Listen,
here's the thing.
they did
I'll
what
tell
they
you this.
did
They only have 12
extremely
dates
well.
in the U.S. That's
Yeah, but
it,
listen.
12.
Okay,
Are
maybe
they on
that's
the
why
East
I
Coast
didn't know
at
they
all?
were on tour.
But listen, when you hear the beginning of "You Shook Me All Night Long," that
Right.
it just gets you, dude. Come
Yeah.
on,
Yeah,
Oh,
it's perfect.
absolutely.
I'm surprised, Howard.
You know,
I'm surprised.
at its best.
I
That is
feel
bad.
about it the same
We're
way
not
I
all
feel about
perfect, I
certain
guess.
movies. You want to think about what the goal is and whether or not they achieved it.
And
So-
And they achieved, Ralph. They achieved it 100%.
and I
Exactly.
think
They
I
know
make
what
this
they were
argument
trying to
too
do.
with Kiss.
I love Kiss.
I love
I don't
Kiss.
even care.
Right.
Dude,
So
right out of Kiss.
I-
I started from first album all the way up. You tell me how many songs you can write.
I
Like a
get-
big
Kiss is
hit.
underrated. I
I
think
get
Kiss is totally underrated. They should be top 10 rock bands.
Black
so I
Diamond.
get in
Come
this
on.
argument a lot of times with people because
I'm getting hyped.
I used to have friends that were like, Kiss is so overrated, they're so stupid. Like, and I'm like,
Dude.
okay, their music
I was
is
made for
not
loving
that
you, baby.
the music is not that
That was gay,
sophisticated,
Howard.
but it's accessible.
Not as gay
And
as
I'm
I am
like,
for you,
they're
AJ.
selling out stadiums because everybody recognizes it. And
Well,
it's
the
same
face
thing
paint
with
was awesome.
AC/DC. The makeup, right. They have it doesn't have to be
Black Diamond was on the
Mozart.
first record. Black Diamond. Come on.
You
I
know,
mean,
part
I
of
think-
that,
The
part of the
greatest
thing with
song I
Kiss-
like
Part of
Yeah.
the thing with Kiss
was
Kiss
what
was
was it,
kind of a bit of a rejection of
what the fuck?
of
I'm
two
drunk
things.
right now, dude. I'm fucking drunk.
You know, folks like
Howard,
Listen,
what
the
fuck was
lyrical
it?
genius was phenomenal in Kiss.
Howard, what was
Put
that
your
one?
hand in my pocket,
Yo,
grab onto
Detroit
my
Rock
rocket.
City. Detroit
Listen,
Rock
guys.
City, come on.
That's amazing.
Detroit Rock City, a song within the song. Come on.
Well, Love God's about, Love God's about us,
God of
Listen,
Thunder.
but-
Unbelievable music these
And
guys
you
Dude,
see,
and
did.
listen,
that's
and they
that's
War
the reason why I
Machine.
didn't stay
War
with
Machine's
spit blood,
amazing.
and they lit themselves on fire. Come on.
Creatures
Right.
of the Night album is
Creatures of the Night is a great record.
it's like top to bottom insane.
Yeah.
I Still Love You.
Who do you
one of the
think's
best
better,
ballads.
Kiss or
Dude, right?
AC/DC?
I went on a Kiss deep dive and I said, all these people that say they suck are in denial. They wrote so
no.
many songs.
So I'm going to
Listen,
recommend something
listen,
again
okay,
because
hold on. Who do you think's better,
I wish I
Kiss or
sucked that bad
AC/DC?
and made their money.
Kiss is better, I would say.
That's
but
what you
they-
got, like, Strutter. Come on.
I'm
I said
I
Kiss is
love it,
better
dude.
than
I love
AC/DC
them.
all day long.
I'm
It's on
going-
fire. Come
so
on.
I'm gonna
That's
say
later on.
Kiss
Revenge. The Revenge record. Chrome. Heart of
Yeah, hold
Chrome. Come
I'm
on.
gonna say that
Ralph, who would you say, AC/DC or Kiss?
you
What?
asking me?
AC/DC.
Ralph.
Say it again. What was that?
AC/DC was kind of
AC/DC or
after
Kiss?
my time, and Kiss, to God's honest truth, I had already moved on by that. That was Kiss was.
No, I understand that.
I don't know how to move on from
74 to,
anything.
like,
All right, since if we're talking
Ralph,
about moving on, right?
Rob Zombie, that's why we're gonna fucking hang out.
All right.
Yeah.
So I want to.
but I mean, if you had to push one off the cliff, who you pushing off the cliff, Kiss or AC/DC? It's that simple.
I can't push
Either
Kiss
one of
off the
them,
cliff.
either
I can't do it. I'm not
Either
pushing
one.
Kiss off the cliff. I can't do
Either
it. It's too
one.
many fun songs for me personally as a kid bonding with my father over a band. You know what I mean?
Howard.
I was
But at the same time, I bonded with my father with AC/DC, so I don't know what to do with that. You
All
know?
right, so okay.
You know who I'm pushing off the cliff, Howard? Howard, you know who I'm pushing off the cliff?
Oh man.
Angel.
Angel.
Jeff Tate and Mr. Big. Fuck them.
all right. I'm
Come
going
on.
to chalk this up to the
I'm
fact
pushing
What is
your
that what you work for?
because I would.
I'm
try
pushing
this, but
Yoko off the cliff.
I'm
in
pushing Angel.
general-
Push Yoko
Me
off
too,
the
Me
cliff.
too.
All right,
Me too.
guys, folks.
Push
let me-
Yoko off the cliff.
let-
We're
so let me
pushing
get
the wrong
this out.
people off
Please
cliffs.
Indulge me for a second.
Jason,
Indulge
easy.
me for a
Bring
second.
it down. Breezy.
So
Sorry.
I have this concept. It is the yacht rock debacle. So here's the deal. You
I
get
like
a-
yacht
you-
rock.
You get a boat and you load the boat with bands. And actually this is arena rock. This particular one is arena rock. You load the boat with bands, you set the boat out onto the ocean, it gets out a couple of miles, you torpedo the boat and everybody
What?
in it drowns.
Oh,
But before the boat sets sail, you get to pull one band off the boat.
Oh, so this is pretty much what happened to the Titanic.
Right, exactly, same deal. So
Oh,
it's
man.
the arena rock thing, right? So let's
Go
say,
ahead.
hear me out, and then you
Go
can
ahead.
pick your genre, and then which
Gotcha.
touches on the AC/DC Kiss thing. So for the arena rock thing, we
Sure.
have Boston, Kansas, Journey,
Sticks.
REO Speedwagon on
Sticks.
the boat.
Oh,
The
Okay.
boat is just about to set sail, and you get to pull one band off the boat.
is
because
Sticks
you
on
have
that
an
boat?
affinity for them.
I would say if Sticks is on the boat, Sticks is coming
I'm
off the
picking
boat.
Sticks,
So
man.
you're taking
Sticks is
Sticks off the boat. All
Yeah,
right?
listen.
I'm saving Sticks.
Is
Ralph.
Sticks on the boat?
Ralph,
Yeah, we're all saving six.
listen,
Except me, I'm
listen. I
saving
got no.
Journey.
Listen, can I say my answer?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm letting them all fucking drown, and I'm gonna shoot Boston.
I'll shoot all 6
You're gonna shoot
torpedoes.
'em first.
See, and
Okay,
I
so-
think
Man.
You
I
hate
think-
Boston?
So personally,
I'm sick of Boston. They're just
Personally,
they're overplayed.
Oh, wait. Erase that. Like the first time you heard Boston, you hated that.
I think
No,
that-
they were great,
Well,
but I'm so
listen,
sick of them.
the
And it's
very
a fucking
first
guitar
time.
upside
So,
down. It took me 40
listen.
years to realize it's a guitar upside down rather than a fucking
so I have
UFO.
a
But-
sound effect. for
Dude,
this.
Gelby's vocals, though. I don't understand. What are you guys hearing vocal wise, man? Like, because that guy's incredible.
I
Listen,
think
Actually,
I
As
think
the
Boston-
boat
Boston-
is sinking, you are hearing this in the background. You're hearing "Lady."
Okay, no. If-
Wait, are we at Sticks now?
no, okay.
Thank
If
you,
we're
Ralph.
talking
Thank
Sticks,
you, Ralph.
you've got Renegade, you've got talk about mandolin
All right,
boat on
all
a
right.
river.
Yeah, but we
Beautiful
do-
song.
Snowblind.
I want to
Snowblind.
go back to the point
Personally,
here.
I'm taking Journey off the boat because I like Neil Sean as a guitar player, and I think
I
Steve
picked
He's
Perry.
wonderful.
I want to go
I
back to the
wish I
point
had
though.
his voice.
Ralph, AC/DC or Kiss? Who would you kick off the
All
mountain?
right, so if
AC/DC.
they get on the boat, who else is on the boat with AC/DC?
No, I just
and
want
Kiss?
these two.
No,
I'm
Just
kicking
want these two.
AC/DC off the boat. I'm
Me
not
too.
killing them. I'm kicking them
You're
off.
leaving it up to me. Only
Yeah, who
because
do-
Kiss and
I just
Boyd
wanna
me,
narrow
I'm
everybody
keeping
down.
AC/DC on the boat, or AC/DC
I'm
survives.
pulling
rather.
Kiss off.
Nobody
too.
dies between those two. How about that? They just one gets kicked off. See you
Everyone-
later.
Listen,
They just
Howard,
gotta swim.
if I really had to pick, I think I'd keep Kiss on the
keep
boat
swimming,
too, just because they had a
keep
lot
swimming,
more.
swimming.
I was a kid and I used to love looking at the
Dude.
pictures of Gene Simmons spitting blood and
Sure.
fire.
Right.
Kiss is great.
It's
I love
great.
AC/DC.
Kiss-
I love AC/DC.
I think Kiss as a musical
Danger
band
you,
gets-
danger me, danger us. Come on.
Kiss as a musical
right.
band gets written off a little too much, I think.
3 bands are actually. I've been loading up.
Wait up,
lately.
Howard. I got one more thing. One more thing.
69 bands are now loading up.
Pretty much.
Ne-
What do you got for
Never
me,
mind.
AJ?
I forgot what I was going to say. Just go with
Good. Vodka's working.
Keep going. Keep going.
So, every week I've been saying all these bands have been going on tour, and you're going to see all your friends. I'm seeing this in person. I'm seeing this person. It is loaded out there. The market's flooded.
Sure.
Well, we got some good news and we got some bad news. This was the first week that I could only find 3 bands that made of any name that was going out. So they're all booked. But these guys are going out, and you tell me if you would see them, if you would not go see them. Okay?
Go ahead.
Does that sound good? Let me find my
Yeah.
list. Luke Bryant.
Fuck
No.
him. Fuck him.
No.
How about you, Ralph?
Don't know him well enough.
Country dude.
Yeah, I know him, but I don't know his
I'm gonna.
catalog.
Yeah. No.
Not really
You're
interested.
okay. Doesn't apply. Okay. I would not be interested. One country guy's the same country guy.
But listen, Howard,
Um,
I'm going to tell you something. My
shoot.
kids love that dude, so he's probably making
Right?
more money than anybody in the world right
Anyone.
He's actually
Right.
very good. 'cause I listen
Don't
to
get me
all-
wrong, but I just don't like
I
that
would say-
style.
now. Either do I.
I don't like the
Either do
baseball
I'm an old
cap
school
guy up
outlaw
front.
country guy if we're going to do that.
Yo, Rob Zombie,
Not one country.
motherfucker, me too, dude.
You know,
Yeah.
You
To me,
guys are
that
like
stuff
kindred
is-
fucking spirits.
To me, that
Okay,
stuff
what
is
else do we
fine
have?
I like the
Yeah.
outlaw country. You know,
with twang, and you throw a pedal steel guitar or a violin.
the Merle Haggards. The
I'm
you know.
going there
Willie
right now.
Nelson.
Yeah, I got to see Willie Nelson. Thank God.
Yeah, he's a living
Yeah.
legend, dude.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about Steve Harris? He's going out. Would you go see him?
Not a chance in hell.
Who is Steve Harris?
The bass player from fucking Iron Maiden.
Why is he
that
going out
guy,
by
right.
himself?
Right, that guy.
Oh, yeah,
I
he's got a
would
tour.
sooner. I mean, I know that Bruce Dickinson has announced.
That is the next one. Bruce
Dave,
Dickinson is going
I
out
would
on
go
the road
soon.
as
I would
well.
sooner go see Bruce Dickinson because I
All
think
day
that's
long.
far more iconic.
Correct.
Well,
And
Steve
General.
Harris is a bass machine. He's the founder. Isn't he the founder of Iron Maiden? Right? What's he doing by himself? He's just playing bass by
Nothing.
himself.
he's doing this. He's doing a Chris Squire.
He's doing
tribute.
Yo, he's gonna go
He's
against-
riding the deep for 3 hours.
Well, I mean, you know that like Nico McBrain has also done his own solo stuff.
Yeah, guess what? Nico
Yeah,
McBrain kicked my tribute band off a Florida date we're supposed to play like 2 years ago because he's
When
Nico
who?
McBrain. I was
Yeah, but
supposed
he
to play
also
in
played
Florida
with
but Nico
rappers.
McBrain took our date. Jerk!
Right
No,
on.
you
dude.
know-
What venue in Florida then?
I can't remember what it was.
Okay, because
Uh-uh.
I would say because Nico has his Rock and Roll Ribs, which is like right near where I'm from, and so he's played a bunch of times down here at Rock and Roll Ribs, and I have some of my like close family friends have been in bands with him and whatever, and I'm like, oh no, did they take?
Yeah, didn't he just he can't play no more. He had a stroke.
He can't play anymore. He's done.
No, he's a
retired.
great drummer, but like we were supposed to play in Florida, and then the date got taken by Nico McBrain. I'm like, really? We just got at least it was him and not some jabroni band, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Next
Damn.
band going out on tour. Ready?
Yeah.
Little Big Town.
Who
no,
Hey.
No, they came here and we didn't see them.
Alrighty then.
no.
I don't
Now-
know who it is.
Now also,
Hell no.
now this is. I'm gonna ask
They're
each.
kinda country.
All right, I'm gonna ask each one of you guys one question. I'm not gonna tell you the answer, who's right, and it's gonna be quick and no ultra overthinking. Okay?
All right.
You ready? Who is
Yeah.
the richest person musically in the world right now? You, Ralph, first.
T Swift.
I agree.
Raina.
Taylor Swift.
Raina.
Same.
AJ.
Same.
We're all the same on this one. It's got to be her.
Lan?
Dave from Disturbed.
No.
Dave from Disturbed. Get the fuck out of here.
The answer,
Fucking on
the
welfare.
answer is,
What the fuck are you talking about?
are you ready for the answer?
Yeah.
Jay-Z. He's worth over $2.5 billion.
How's he still
Wow.
making money?
I
Wow.
have no idea. Also, some other news that we have real quick.
He's wanted by the law anyways, I think. I think he's up for
Him
something.
and P. Diddy.
He's making
Hey,
money.
we haven't
for
heard
things
much
other
from
than
Diddy
music.
lately, huh? That went quietly into the night.
He's got to stroke the furry wall, stroke the furry wall.
He's making money from fashion or things
Yeah.
other than or tequila.
He's making residual off Spotify. Every artist he ever signed forever.
I guess that's it,
Wait,
man.
I want to say something on this though too. Listen,
What you got?
like these people might have a lot of money because they were smart or they had smart. They're not smart. They're fucking stupid. Who's the guy again? You said Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
He's a fucking.
But he's been living
moron.
for 3 lifetimes
Yeah,
already.
but listen, he's a fucking moron. Let's get it right. But he had probably a great business, someone that ran his business for him. You know, these people got money, but they still fucking suck. Let's be real. They fucking suck.
I will.
Fucking
I mean,
blow.
again, I've said this, I think literally every episode that I've been on here. I will fight for the defense of Taylor Swift as a prolific songwriter and talent. People just hate her because she's a woman and they hate to see a woman winning.
And she's got a flat ass.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Total,
That
it's
doesn't
total
include me.
misogyny. It is complete
Honestly,
misogyny
the
for most
reason-
people.
She's
No, I'm a woman rocker.
No.
I'm a feminist
The reason
rocker. I
she
love.
hated
I have
It
no
all started with
opinion on
heart
Taylor
for me.
Swift.
Yeah,
It all started with
Tell
heart
her
for me.
the reason
You know.
she
Rob
is
Zombie, you're a
this
feminist.
is
Show us
because
your
she
tits.
keeps her mouth running when it shouldn't be.
I'm all
She's a
about
great
women
I've
rockers,
watched
man.
her since the age of 14. I really did like her. I know her father.
Welcome to Dateline.
I know her father, but even people cringe when she starts talking about something that is not music related. She
Nice.
People, I
really
mean,
can't
that
keep
she's
her damn
that
mouth
makes her
shut.
no different
Now, hold
than
on.
most others.
Now, hold on 1 second. There is an asterisk in this, and somebody actually hit the asterisk.
Go ahead.
Had Paul McCartney not sold and also had divorce, he would have accumulated more wealth than Jay-Z, even at how much the dollar was worth back then. He would have accumulated more wealth
Oh,
than
absolutely.
Jay-Z. But he gave away a lot.
Howard, you know why? Because Paul McCartney is fucking Jesus Christ or fucking rock and roll. End of story. Dude, listen.
Tell me how you really feel, bro.
Dude, that motherfucker played the bass, I'm sorry to say, more melodic and better than anyone. And listen, once again,
Hey, I would say the same thing about Neil Peart being the fucking first bongo player on earth.
Listen to the bass lines. The motherfucker's singing and he's stopping and he's playing on a fucked up note and he's still singing. It's incredible, dude. The guy's a fucking genius.
So
I bet the Primus guy is very a Beatles
Les
fan. He has to be.
Claypool?
Yeah, Les Claypool's got to be a Beatles
Love
guy.
Les Claypool.
You
I
know,
love
you know, what I
Primus.
know the Primus guy don't
I'm
like?
not a big Primus.
Fucking
Ah.
Mr. Big.
Well, here's a fun
Wait,
fact about
Billy
Mr.
Sheehan
Primus.
is awesome.
Hold on. So on
Paul Gilbert, man.
on the Roll the Bones tour from
Paul
Rush, there
Gilbert.
were 2 opening acts, and
Paul
one of them
Gilbert.
was Mr. Big, and one of them was
Which I saw.
Primus. Thank you.
Paul Gilbert, bro.
Listen,
I saw-
Paul
I saw that
Gilbert
tour on
fucking
4 nights.
masturbates his fucking guitar. Fuck him.
He what?
Wow.
He masturbates his fucking. He plays a million fucking notes. And listen, he's a great.
Racer X. You ever heard Racer X?
Paul
listen,
Gilbert
listen,
is
listen to me.
On
Listen to
par
me.
with
Listen to
Eddie
me.
Van Halen.
Listen to me. Listen, he couldn't
Ooh.
fucking tune Eddie Van Halen's fucking guitar.
Les
he has
Claypool?
no feel. He has no fucking feel.
Wait a minute.
Look
Paul
Paul
Gilbert?
Gilbert did the drill before Eddie.
Yeah,
He
thank
did.
you.
I don't give a
Yes,
fuck,
and
he
it
has
was.
no
Ralph is
feel.
He did
intrigued
the
with
drill
this
before
show.
Eddie. He did the drill before
He
Eddie.
did it, but yes, Daddy Mother was
Ralph,
a little
join
boy.
the fucking
entire
Ralph.
Lean Into It album came out before Pound Cake.
Hey, that song, A Little
All right,
Too
Raina,
Loose.
Raina,
That's, you know what song I'm talking
Ralph,
about?
Ralph.
A Little Too Loose.
is
Hold on,
amazing.
easy, guys.
It's an amazing
I know what-
bluesy
guys.
song.
Yes,
Oh,
it
dude,
is. And
easy,
if you
guys.
want, if
Easy,
you want
guys.
bluesy,
Easy, guys.
Voodoo
Easy,
Kiss.
guys.
Paul Gilbert don't know
Easy,
what the
guys.
fuck the
Easy. Bring
blues
it down. We're
is.
gonna have to mute some
Dude,
mics
listen
here.
to A Little Too Loose.
All
A
right.
Little Too Loose.
Come on,
A little,
Ralph.
yes, a
Mics,
little
mute
too
the
loose.
mics.
Voodoo
Just a
Kiss is
little too
also
loose.
very bluesy. Okay.
Okay.
I also want to
Okay.
note.
We
Because
need.
I wanna-
we need some. Raina, we need some law and order here.
I was
Throw
going
some
to
more punches, please. Now you're in trouble.
We're all laughing.
I was just gonna add in terms of the like, would you go see them?
Yes.
Stephen Piercy and Warren DeMartini just played their first show together
Yeah, I
in
saw that.
years
How'd it
at
go?
Mohegan Sun Arena. Yes, no, because
Wait.
I would go see them. I would go see them just
I've
for the
seen
nostalgia
Stephen
factor.
Piercy already a couple times. It's fun.
I've seen Stephen Piercy once, but Warren DeMartini is another super underrated guitarist of the 80s.
Yeah.
And see him out of retirement having fun
Sure.
makes my heart so happy.
I
So,
love.
This
How
is
old
the
are
part
you
of the show
again?
that
I'm 24.
I want everyone to go
Yeah, I
around
love
the
what
room
you.
and
It's amazing. Amazing.
Thank
tell
you.
the people who
Yeah.
you are and what you do and where they can get a hold of you.
I say one thing.
Raina, how can people get
Yeah.
a hold of you?
Jesus Christ.
Raina, how can people get a hold of you?
You can find me on Instagram at Raina Lee, RAYNALEIGH, and then
Yeah.
an underscore. It should say Little Legend Baby, which is actually also a Mr. Big reference, green tinted 60s mind. So
Hey,
you can find
man.
me there. It's all my photography stuff. I write with Metal Talk Magazine
Nice.
online. So you can find some of my articles there. I've done,
You can find her
Stuff.
here every few weeks, dipping into the show too.
yeah, when I've been kind of on and
Rado.
off, getting ready to move and everything. But
Nice. Going to my
Yeah.
She's
hometown.
inviting
You're
us
going
over
to
the
my
painting
hometown.
party.
I can't wait to see you in Nashville. You're an
it's gonna be.
amazing
I'm
photographer.
so excited. Honestly,
We're gonna visit in the summer. That's our road
Yeah,
trip.
we-
When
Oh, yeah.
are you
We're
moving
gonna-
there?
We're gonna go
I
out there and
moved
see you.
in 7 days.
AJ,
Okay,
where can
I'm,
people
I'm
see
visiting
you?
I'm visiting my dad in July, so that's cool.
Okay, I'll be there.
Nice. What the heck?
AJ, where
Hey,
can
what's
people
up?
see you and find you, man?
I can't hear. What's that?
Where do people see you and find you?
In the back.
Like find AJ Slick
You,
Band.
you
Talk
can
to him.
find me in a porn magazine.
True.
Wednesday I'm playing Dagwoods. Thursday Penny Gardens solo. Friday Penny Gardens full band. Saturday Shaky and Pete's. And in any local fucking bar near my house, you can catch me and my wife drinking.
I
Nice.
gotta tell you, you're not gonna believe this, but he's got a beautiful, well-grounded wife.
Stunning wife.
Not because he's not such a handsome guy. He is. It's just because
I used to be
AJ
good looking, so I turned into the fat Jim Morrison. I don't know what the fuck's going on, dude.
I told
Oh,
you it's all
also
died,
rest in
brother.
peace,
It's all
Val
died. Look
Kilmer.
at me.
Oh,
all right.
Val Kilmer.
Jason,
Ugh.
Tell everyone about your band. Give it a minute. Tell them about where you're
You
back.
can
on
also
roast.
find my band in a porn magazine. I'm
True.
With
And
the
he also
mask
collects
on.
a
With
lot
the
of
mask
shit.
on,
He
Jason.
collects. What do you collect, dude?
sorry. Oh, okay. Repeat. I'm sorry. I was laughing too much, being dumb.
We were talking about
Jason,
earlier. We
Howard,
skipped
Howard,
you. You
Howard,
collect a lot of
Howard,
cool
wait.
stuff.
Howard, wait, listen. I say we do a porn video with them fucking clown masks on, dude.
I already have one of you. I got a still. You doing a rubber
Oh my
doll. dude.
gosh. Woo.
Go ahead,
I
Jay.
have that.
All right, Jason, go, Jay, Joe.
Dude, I
Listen,
carry
I
that
want to know
everywhere
when I
with
can
me.
talk Mr. Big with Jason here.
Jason,
So
what is your band?
I can talk Mr. Big.
What is your
My
band,
second
Jason?
favorite rap album is Hey Man. I like that one a lot. So
that's a
Yeah.
great one.
What is your
but,
band and what do you play?
I got a what do they call it? Multi mixed blender
What-
metal band called Wrath of Typhon. We play everywhere, out of state, out of mind, whatever.
Follow them on Facebook, right?
It's TYPHON. It's Greek mythology stuff. My Greek friend named us that. So
Heck yeah.
it's a lot of blend. We will sound like Motorhead 1 minute, and then we'll sound like thrash. We'll sound like rock the next minute. It's all mixed. It's
What
different
diner
stuff.
are you playing at next?
I'll play the Depot in Baltimore for the anniversary show in May
Are you
3rd.
playing the Metro Diner in Philadelphia? Because all the Greeks love diners.
Right, they do.
Dude,
They
no,
actually do.
Howard, I got asked
Yeah, bro.
I got asked to play this fucking diner around the corner from my house, and I never went. I'm like, what the fuck do they want me to play there for?
Dude, if
I
you
think
could
I
do it
played-
for an open, if you can get a salad bar and an open turkey face sandwich, that'd be great, bro.
I remember playing. Man, I remember doing a show at a pizza joint before. That was fun.
Oh, dude, I would play anywhere. I played for an
Yeah.
opening of a gym. I don't give a fuck. Pay me, Ralph. How can people get a hold of you and your music, bro?
Mainly
I put
on
your
a
music on our page all the time. Do you notice that? Ralph, by the way, is an administrator of our page. He goes, "Where's the show?" I go, "It's on our page,
Yeah.
dude."
I wondered why you asked me to be an administrator. I really did.
It's because you've got some musical background and your wife's legit as fuck. So,
I've got a shit ton of
and you
musical
help me out
background.
too, man.
Yeah.
I want to give Ralph another hand for helping me out.
All right,
you help me out in many
Howard,
great
let
ways.
Ralph answer the question. Where can we find you playing?
All right, you can. I don't gig anymore, although I wouldn't mind. But down here in Louisiana, I'm in Cajun country.
All right,
So-
what part of
Yee-hoo!
are you New Orleans area?
No, you see, that's the thing. When we came down to Louisiana, I'm
Sucky.
thinking Dr. John, Little Feat, Professor Longhair, but I'm in Cajun country, so it's all fiddles and
Sucky.
accordions.
Ralph, what's your last name?
Confredo,
Machio.
You're
C-O-N-F-R-E-D-O.
Wait.
Italian. You're
I
Italian.
don't have my Ralph
Yo,
Macchio
yeah.
stuff with me.
So trust
You're-
me, when we
yo.
came down here, I was thinking about changing my name and have it end in O-U-X because so much stuff does down here, Boudreaux, that kind of thing.
Listen, me and Howard would be chased by the fucking KKK out there, dude.
That's true.
Possibly. Anyway, you can
They
find
could
me
find
on
us in the
YouTube.
deli
I've got
section of
YouTube channel.
like Piggly Wiggly. You're like,
Uh,
hey, you guys got kosher hot dogs? It's done. It's done.
So there are about 85 videos now on my YouTube channel.
Fine.
Most of it's covers. There's about 10 originals, more or less, and
Nice.
it runs the gamut of things like.
Rob Zombie.
I'm sorry. What?
Rob Zombie.
No,
Sorry.
no. But I do have things like "Burning of the Midnight Lamp" by Jimi Hendrix.
Andrew, that's a
That's
cool
cool.
one, dude. That's a cool one,
Yeah.
brother.
It's a great one, and it's a cool video too. As a matter of fact.
Yo,
Uh,
Ralph, you know what you're gonna do?
What?
You're gonna do my favorite Hendrix song, and I don't do it live because it's fucking hard to do live. Castles Made of Sand.
Wow.
Yeah, it'd be a good one.
That's
Yep.
a great Hendrix song, dude.
Oh yeah, it is. We never played that live.
That's a great one, man.
I just put out "Girl from the North Country," the Bob Dylan tune, so it kind of runs.
Hey.
the gamut.
Great
Uh,
song.
So I kind of lean towards the fusion side, fusion and funk. I've got Sly and the Family Stone stuff.
That's cool.
I mean, that's really where my heart lies. Mostly is in jazz and funk.
Right.
So, and
That's
that's
jazz.
when we were talking about a lot of the stuff that we were listening to. I had kind of moved away from that.
Sure.
Made in Japan by Deep Purple was
Great record.
was the end of my kind of rock phase because
Wow.
at that point, Mahavishnu Orchestra, Weather Report, that stuff came into play, and those guys could play. And I wanted
Actually, Dave was supposed to be on the show tonight. That's David Pastores, who's Jocko's nephew, was supposed to be on the show tonight. He might come next
Wow.
week.
wow, that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
So,
he's a local guy in
Yeah.
Florida. He's terrific, and
right, and-
he's a friend of the show.
Right. And before I finish up, we were talking about singing bass players. Let's not forget Jack
Bruce. Jack Bruce. I knew it.
There you go.
the original, my man.
Wow.
Look at this,
So when we're
AJ.
talking about Paulie, when we're talking about Paul and Primus and those guys,
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
another guy.
Getty.
John Paul Jones.
and Getty. Oh,
Yeah. John Paul
I'll
Jones.
tell you
Sure.
what, his bass lines, well, that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
Remember, I'm primarily a bass player, even though I play more guitar these days.
Right.
But I consider myself a bass player. John Paul Jones, if you go back
Also
and you listen to
Sting.
that stuff. Sting? Yeah, Sting's a great bass player, great pulse, amazing songwriter. He's
Oh,
one
yeah.
of those guys, and McCartney's that guy too. He's actually not a bass player, he's a musician.
Yes.
Right.
Plays
For
bass.
sure.
Ralph, you know my favorite bass solo was? My favorite bass solo of all time that made me was what John Paul Jones did in the Lemon Song. How funky and wasn't hard, but how fucking ridiculous pocket oriented funky
Right.
it was.
Yep. And we were talking
Fucking
about
badass, dude.
we were talking about Chicago earlier. Let me give a nod to Tower of Power and Rocco.
Nice.
Who is,
There we go.
So you want to talk about fingerstyle funk, not thumbing, fingerstyle.
Right.
Right.
If you don't know Rocco Prestia, you should.
Power.
Anyway,
All right, so I want to thank Joanne Duran for being my engineer behind. Thank you, Joanne. Rob, you want to say thank you?
thank you.
Jason, put that fucking mask back on, dude.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
we start
Let's have Rob walk us out of here. Everyone, that's my beautiful wife and my puppy, Charlie.
That's
We
awesome.
want to thank you for watching the show. Feel free to follow us, share the show, have people follow us, reach out to AJ, go see his band. You'll have a great time. He's out 6 nights a week.
I gotta come out to see you, AJ. I gotta come out to see you.
Rob,
And then we're gonna drink 69 Vegas bombs. Woo!
Not a problem.
and then
for
you
me,
got
dude.
fucking Jason's band's playing, I think, the 10th. You're playing, or the
Well,
21st?
May 3rd at the Baltimore Depot. It'll be in Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
I'll be in North
that's
Carolina. I'm getting close, Howard. I'll be in North Carolina later in the year.
Baltimore, that's going to be.
AJ, I'm still working on that thing. I'm going to text you something in a few minutes that I was finishing up on, but the dates in July are going to be tough. Could we maybe do October?
Whatever the fuck you want, dude.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to work that out. Raina, after you move in and you get your set all set up again, you got to come in. You're our correspondent from,
Oh,
and you
for
got to
sure.
get
And
like
there
some
is
fresh news there.
no shortage of music going on there,
Good.
from the locals all the way to the legends.
Remember, share our show to your friends and have
Yes.
all their buddies in their band to watch our
Josh
show.
Ellington's here.
Oh, my friend, what are you doing? Go back the other way.
I got a lot of masks. It's fun.
All right, folks.
Ralph, you're welcome to join the menagerie every once in a while. If you want to come, if you want to subject yourself weekly on this, we always have a square for you.
I try to get out here on Mondays. It's tough. It's tough. Sorry.
Carry on, my dear friends. Take care.
And thank you,
It
Ralph.
was a pleasure having you. I
Thank-
hope you had a
thank you
great
for
time,
having
Ralph.
me.
And again, thank you so much for always being a friend and being there and laughing with me online. Thanks, man.
Bet.
Have a good
Gotta
one.
live to lose it.
Go.
Oklahoma
listen,
City.
One last
This is
thing.
like video graffiti.
Listen, one last thing. Fuck Mr. Big.
What you got?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's
Oh, he's
you.
gone, but I said
Holy
something.
cow.
Don't worry.
Eric Martin
All right.
loves
Fuck
Dave
you,
Bread.
All right, now we're going into extended play, AJ. I got nothing to say.
Fuck
My
that
part
shit.
of the
You
job
should
is
end the
done.
show with a Mr.
Oh, he
Big
dipped
song.
out. He
He
hit red.
totally
He fucking
smacked
just
and
dropped
laughed.
down.
But
That's
right now, I'm
hilarious.
with you. I love Mr.
What a
Big.
pussy.
I love Eric Martin. And I
Dude.
actually gave him the link to this show. So fuck
Listen,
you.
if I
Did
can,
you really?
Yes, I
Well,
did. I know him on Instagram.
I know him personally. I should text him
Okay,
and warn
so
him.
one of these days, I want to talk to. I've been meaning. So here's a fun thing.
Does he know you? Does he know you?
Yeah.
So if I
Oh,
text,
if you saw me,
what-
and if you told him, hey, I know the girl who wrote about the little devil Marty, he would know.
Okay.
'Cause I actually
I'm gonna
write-
text him that tonight. See if he says anything. Because
I
he
just
gave me his
wanna-
number in Montana, and he was great. He was fun to talk to. He had a lot to
He's
say, and he was
so-
hilarious. We
he's
had the same kind of silly energy, and I loved that.
Yeah. No, he's just a
Who's
joy to
that?
be around. The whole
Eric
band.
Martin.
Where did you
I
see
met
him
Eric
on
Martin
Montana?
through Jeff Tate.
If you
Oh, no way.
tell
Yeah.
him like, oh, if you said like Raina, the photographer says hi, I think he would probably.
I'm gonna say Raina, photographer, says hi. Little
Yeah.
devil. Wait, what was the other thing?
That's like a whole separate thing. I write
Okay.
fiction, and I created a fictional character in my story based on Eric, and I had him name the character.
Uh-huh.
And he named him. He said, "I want his nickname to be the Little Devil because that's what people call Eric." And so his name is Marty after Martin. D. Evelyn. Marty D. Evil. Marty the Little
Evil.
Devil. And I
Marty,
gave
Look at the Marty Devil.
I gave Eric 2 of my short stories that I wrote.
Yeah.
I think it was, oh no, I gave him one. I gave him one,
Make
and
up your
I
mind, lady.
told him like it was one. I then wrote a second one, but I gave it to him, and I was like, "Hey, you should read it." And he did. He was like, "I did. It was crazy," and I was like, "Good. It's inspired by you." And
There's an on my Instagram. There's a picture. He says, "Hey, I'm going to yell at you. Just make faces." So there's 4 or 5 photos where it's just he's yelling at me. I'm trying to not to lose it, and I'm trying to make faces.
Yeah,
Guys,
it's
you
so-
guys got to get a room because I got to go and take my dog.
All
for a walk.
right.
Okay.
I will
was
see you
saying,
guys in the
put it
next
in the
week.
chat,
Jason,
put
try
your
and make it on
Instagram in the
Monday
chat,
nights.
and then we'll
Love
talk.
you guys.
Okay.
And Raina,
Raina?
definitely, we want to see you. Let us know how you do in Nashville.
I will.
Lettuce!
Thank you, everybody.
Hot lettuce.
Good night. Peace out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye. Peace.
Bye.
More human.
The Web Design Ninja is your one-stop shop for all things internet. Our dedicated team has been building internet solutions for businesses large and small since 1993. We specialize in creating eye-catching designs, search engine optimization, complex e-commerce, and custom app integration, whether you need a simple website or a complex e-commerce or phone app. Our team of experts is here for you. Give us a call today. We're here to help.